accounts of personal injury, illness, financial hardship, and homelessness. So after inviting people to inform you of the extent and gravity of the problems produced by your misguided program, you now have proposed decisions that address none of them. For example, a former meter reader warned that smart meters were causing fires. Larry Nickel died on July 9, 2010 in a house fire that started a day after a smart meter was installed on his home. Winifred Thomas, a former Hewlett-Packard professional, too ill to work, homeless, living alone in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Sue Bazo, former UC Berkeley graduate student, unable to continue school, moved 8 times, lives on disability, fighting for her life in Arizona. More people that you have ignored in their words. Amy Hartley. Santa Rosa. I always slept like a baby. 11 smart meters were newly installed and I started experiencing insomnia and darting headaches. Lawrence Gust. Santa Barbara. I'm an electrical engineer. Doctors are reporting that 18% of their patients have health problems because of the smart meters. The power supplies for these meters needs to be changed. Dorothy Sheldon. San Clemente. My doctor warned me against wireless technology because of my pacemaker. I have to opt out. I can't afford it. Jenny Lee. Santa Rosa. Fees are too burdensome for the elders in my community, some of whom cannot afford their medications. Dr. Toril Jeltzer. Santa Rosa. Severe tinnitus, fatigue, and neuropathy at home and at work. I left my home and closed my private practice. I have lost my home and livelihood to smart meters. Julie Levine. Los Angeles. Diarrhea, vomiting, pulsing, ringing, pain in my ears, heart racing, palpitations, disorientation, nervousness. Forced from my home, living in a minivan. Roger Knox. Santa Barbara, the guy who installed the smart meter was dressed up like a hazmat operator. 3% of the population is electrosensitive. That's over 1 million Californians. Joan Renahan. Santa Barbara. Computer panel of our new washing machine got burned out. TV, home computer, and printer don't work. Sparks come out of our electrical outlets. Headaches, heart palpitations, and tachycardia. Louise Stample. Santa Rosa. I am hypersensitive to EMS. Ear pain, nausea, and headaches caused by constant smart meter emissions coming through my walls. My small business is in ruins. Stacy Hall. Santa Barbara. The smart meter caused my 75-year-old mother to have tachycardia. She has to have heart surgery. Julia Ostach. Santa Rosa. Headaches, tinnitus, extreme sleep deprivation, bruxism, muscle cramps, heart arrhythmia since the smart meter rollout in my neighborhood. Shane Gregory. Los Angeles. Lost my home in 24 years. Sleeping on park benches, in cars, couch surfed, 4 brain surgeries. Civil and human rights have been violated. Rebecca Helsler, Santa Rosa. Shooting pain in my head, arrhythmia, pressure in my chest after 16 smart meters put outside my condo. Had to leave. I have been isolated in the mountains. Louis Donovan. San Clemente. Hospitalized 4 times for cardiac arrhythmia after a meter was installed near my bedroom window. The meter stopped my heart. Me and my 2 neighbors opted out. My heart is better now. Pat Wrigley. Santa Rosa. I was a meter reader for 9 years. Illegally fired because I wouldn't keep quiet when I knew smart meters catch fire, and PG&E covers this up. Andrea Walker. Los Angeles. Even though I have opted out, the grid is still going right through my house. It keeps me awake at night. Shelley Masters. Santa Rosa. Fatigue, depression, burning skin, drooping eye, ear loss, racing heart, nosebleeds. I have a hard time doing my work. My quality of life has disappeared. Ben Seville. San Clemente. 11 smart meters were installed under my young neighbor's bedroom window. He couldn't sleep, started crying, screaming, banging his head on his crib. He went to live with relatives who don't have a meter, and his symptoms went away. We can choose not to use other wireless devices, but we have no choice about the smart grid. Amy O'Hare. Santa Rosa. I am a mother. No parent should have to face opt-out fees to protect a child from smart meter emissions radiating from the other side of a bedroom wall. Denise Barton. Los Angeles. Testing of this meter on seniors, the disabled, children, and pregnant women never happened. Gertrude Gibbon. Santa Rosa. Severe negative health effects. Having an analog meter is not a luxury. It's a necessity for my well-being. I should not have to pay. Liz Barris. Los Angeles. Stabbing pains in my ears, heart arrhythmia, headaches. Ann Crosby. Santa Barbara. These two huge companies have created a fee structure that invalidates the opt-out option by becoming too expensive for nearly everyone. Who's poor? Catherine Gunderson.
Mr. Ernst.
Loss of sensitivity in the teeth and jaws, loss of money from seeking specialists, loss of memory and focus, large bank of meters outside my bedroom.
Mr. Ernst, I allowed you to go on for 10 minutes now. I think this is...
Oh, and we had to sit here for 2 hours while their praises were sung. I'm sorry, there was no time called for the 2 hours that we sat here.
They were all
and now,
individual speakers.
These are the people.
Please.
We are the
Menstruate, fatigue, insomnia, pain, severe drop in blood pressure, ringing in my ears, feeling of being electrocuted since 22 smart meters installed. I can't work, I'm sleeping in my car. Charles Cooper. Santa Rosa. Within 1 month of smart meter installation, I developed muscle twitching, loss of vision, loss of balance, loss of thousands in medical costs. And Dwelke. And Clemente. My daughter has life.
Mr. Ernst, how much longer do you anticipate going on?
Installed in her house, she's had nausea, headaches, insomnia, many neurological problems.
Mr. Ernst, how much longer do you intend to go on?
Until something changes. She walks with a shuffle and has vision impairment. She has to leave home to find...
You're making your political statement very clear. We all hear you.
You should have heard these when these were all supposedly given to you by the illustrious law judge when those things were set up. You guys don't know any of this. You don't know any of these people. These are the people who suffer. There would be 10 times the people could fill this room with people that cannot show up, my wife included. I am a victim of this. I'm like secondhand smoke, okay? And that's it. These are people. They cannot show up. They cannot be here because the electrical output in this room alone. There are people here like this woman standing here. I know will suffer for a week. My wife was at 2 of these meetings, presented her opinions, and was sick for a week afterwards. She can't. It's just not fair. And I've gotten the biggest lesson in political behavior here today. And this is another end of that spectrum of diversity that you were praised for so resoundingly. This is a problem. You are killing people. You are hurting people. I haven't even got to the list of people who are nameless and faceless and took their lives out of pain and suffering and homelessness and the constant attempt at running, always running, trying to run away where there is no place to run. You, including myself, those of you who the whole system does not seem to bother you, is not true for everyone. This is not true for everyone in this room. We are part of the privilege.
We're going to recess the meeting for lunch.
No, I need to make my speech because I have a
You
client.
can come back.
I know I have a client.
This is our
For
meeting.
5 years I want to make
This is
Okay,
a public meeting, and we are the public.
We also have a right to have lunch.
So let me just say this.
Please.
For close to
Okay,
Hi.
Ms. Stoll has talked to us many times, and go ahead.
And there was more stuff can I have my full 3 minutes? Because I'd like to.
Yeah,
Let
you
us
can have
speak.
your 3 minutes.
Hi, could you turn on the mic, please?
Let Sudi speak.
Hi, I'm
We're
Sudi.
going to. Now,
Hi.
quiet. Go ahead. Turn on the mic.
I don't think the mic is the mic. Okay, so I'm Sudi Skull and I'm the co-chair of No Smart Meters SF. And so good morning. And another sleight of hand, PG&E feigned concern about the safety of EMF when the insert in our bill titled Understanding Electric and Magnetic Fields. There was no mention of the pulse microwave radiation from smart meters installed unknowingly on most people's homes in California. The bases were loaded. Commissioner Florio, you proposed another phase to address community-wide opt-out. For the first time, I felt heard when you stated you didn't want to ignore our pleas and that an individual opt-out was not enough. Commissioner Sonderville, you publicly announced your concerns regarding the unnecessary, toxic 190,000 pulses a day emitted by smart meters. And President Peevey, you generously gave us the opt-out program and added another nugget with a 3-year cap. The bases were loaded, but the commission struck out. Carol Brown kept saying the CPUC is like a large ship that takes a long time to turn around. The dysfunctional bureaucracy is so rampant here, I don't think it can. Commissioners should be elected officials. Safety should not be superficial and emergency evacuation fluff, but a policy that listens to the public's concerns. Nuclear reactors, drinking water tainted by hexane, valine, chromium, or microwave radiation pulsed into our homes. For close to 5 years, doctors, teachers, mathematicians, therapists, engineers, realtors, photographers, nutritionists, lawyers, and mayors have come to you lining up, groveling in their 1, 2, 3-minute public comment for relief from the smart meter. The process itself made us into the misfits of humanity. We didn't count. This is a civil rights issue. Attorney General Holder stated after Mr. Garner's death, all lives must be valued. Garner, in a chokehold position, could be heard saying, I can't breathe. We have said how many times, I am so sick, I can't live in my house. Even with an opt-out, a neighbor's smart meter pulses into our house, we are forced to live in a microwave oven. I think chronic acute sleep deprivation in combination with a gestalt of other debilitating symptoms for 5 long years would constitute Senator Feinstein's definition of torture in her CIA report. Life for many of us has been unbearable, and not doing enough for us, you have become the torturers. According to respected non-industry scientists, microwave radiation is changing the genome of biological life, and yet you all call yourself environmentalists. Shame on you. I still, President Peevey, want to wish you well, and we've had a relationship through the years here, and you did give us the opt-out, and I want to thank you. And I just hope that as the maverick, as everyone talks about how you are, that you can become an advocate for low-tech solutions to climate change. And bon voyage. Thank you.
Please leave a copy of that list for us.
Yeah, you're interfering with the speaker, huh? Teresa?
Yes,
Amelia?
I'm Teresa Amelia. I also suffer from electromagnetic frequency sensitivity. I suffer from headaches and earaches, and I'm here to protest. The first thing I wish to protest is that the testimonials were said at the same time as the public outcry. That was outrageous. We've been waiting for hours and hours to have our voices heard, and you folks really need to do better than that. That's not right. Here on Earth, air is essential to life for every one of us. We share one air. We breathe one air. And air is the conduit that allows our sound waves, our voices, to reach each other's ears so that we can hear each other. Air is essential for all of us. But the wireless companies and the utility companies have commandeered the air. They have stolen the air. And they have bought the air, and they've been allowed to buy the air. And the wireless companies, to their great shame, have done that for their billions and their wealth and their greed. In 2011, the World Health Organization's scientific research arm classified the radiation from wireless technology as a 2B carcinogen, the same class as lead, DDT, and chloroform. This is serious radiation that is going on 24/7, whether we engage with wireless technology or not. It's around us. It's created an electric smog in the air that all of us need to breathe, and you folks are saying yes to more of this by promoting smart meters. The opt-out program have nothing to do with money, no fees for opting out of smart meters. Smart meters should be banished from the face of the earth. They are polluting the air that all of us require to live. Please stop this insanity. Thank you.
Vicky Seaver?
I just signed in to get in the room.
Don't take it.
Sandy Moore?
I'm gonna walk. I'm walking with a cane.
That's fine.
You, don't rush me.
Sandy Moore?
The EMF Safety Network has been working at the California Public Utilities Commission for over 4 years to obtain safety on smart meters. The CPUC, headed by Michael Peevey, has repeatedly thwarted our efforts and colluded with PG&E on smart meters. The CPUC has refused records as request for emails that illustrate collusion with PG&E and violate ex parte rules. In 2014, the CPUC wrote to the governor and the legislature that they had investigated smart meter fires. When the EMF Safety Network asked, through a records act request, for a copy of that investigation, our request was ignored. Fires have been reported in California linked to smart meters and California and beyond. In Canada, Australia, and throughout the United States. The Nevada PUC is investigating smart meter fires. The public has a right to know what's in that investigation. You need to see the details of it. And it's wrong to make grassroots organizations have to sue to obtain information that's rightfully ours. It was Michael Peevey who ordered PG&E to create a pay-to-opt-out program. I believe he figured out how much you could charge people that would thwart the rest of the people from wanting to opt out because it costs money. SDG&E even did a survey to find out what people would pay. This is wrong.